2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is February 14th, 2021, and this is our pilot episode of the Scarlette Jade Show, where we are going to cover such topics as BDSM, fetish, community life, and the community as a whole. And we have a whole range of topics that we are going to discuss over, we hope, a very long span of time of our videos. But we are first going to cover the important stuff. My name is Madam Scarlette, and my lovely consort.
I am her sub, Amy Jade.
Wonderful. And we are two people involved in the BDSM community. I am the dominant, and Amy Jade is my submissive. Now, Amy Jade, I would like you to cover the fine print, which is absolutely necessary, please.
Of course. One moment, please, madam. I'm bringing up my document.
Good girl.
Thank you. So first, the boilerplate disclaimer. The information contained in the following video and subsequent videos after this is intended for informational use only. While medical advice will be presented in some of these features later on down the road, it is not intended or predicated to be used only as directed, will be used only as directed, or by medical professional advice for individual viewers. Please consult with your personal physician and or therapist before engaging in or taking any actions that may be presented herein. The following information is, as stated, for educational purposes only, and for intended use without proper authorization or training is not recommended, and recommended you take it only with proper supervision. Please practice any of the following techniques safely and with principles of, and this will be explained, principles of RAC and SSC in mind. That is risk-aware consensual kink and sane consensual play. That will be addressed further on later down the road. The Scarlette and Jade Show and its members, crew, cast, and directions not liable for or responsible for any mishaps or accidents, medical or otherwise, that may occur as a result of the following advice as presented in this program. Please seek medical professional advice if you're in distress and call your emergency services if needed.
Excellent.
On with the deal.
Very good. Okay, so you're going to probably say, well, who the hell are the two of you, and why the heck should we be listening to you? Because we don't know you. Well, this is where we're going to start. And we are two ladies who hope to enlighten, assist, guide, and provide some valid and salient information, as well as have guests on who can provide other information in their areas of expertise to assist people in learning more about the lifestyle and playing in a very safe and wonderful manner. And also be able to find people that are like-minded and that would like to be with you in this kind of relationship. So I'm Madam Scarlette. I have been involved in the community for over 30 years. I didn't believe I just said that out loud. No, I'm really 20. No, no, I've been involved in the community for over 30 years. I've always been a dominant individual. I was always in a position of nurturing, caring, and being in control, even as a young person. And it just came as a natural part of my my person. So I got into it early. A friend of mine was interested, and I was intrigued by the lifestyle, and I got involved. And I have as a smart person usually, I shouldn't say that actually, you know what, I forget I said that. But in my way, I believe that if you want to be a proper dominant and you want to be able to control and be able to handle a submissive, slave, whatever, you should have proper training as well and be able to understand how it feels personally, what you do to the person that you are handling and managing. So I trained as a submissive on request, so that way I knew how to be a better dominant. Not everyone's going to agree with me. I'm sure I'll probably get lots of arguments. I do not care what you think, because for me, it is what works. And you can argue all you want to. I don't care. I have had no issues, no complaints, and no problems in the entire time I've been doing this. And I think that speaks very well of it all. So in the time that I've been doing this, I have had numerous submissives, slaves, toys, pets, an absolute wonder of people that I've been able to have the pleasure of having under my my command, and they have been brilliant, and they have gone to do very good and successful things, have been successful people, and the good cornerstone of things that we will discuss is that the community will actually help to guide and focus you in more ways too. This is a very large part of what we hope as dominants to help provide in some cases. I have done pretty much anything, impact play, pegging, sissification, everything. It's been run the spectrum. And if I was to say I have a favorite, well, I don't really have a favorite, but I am very good as a disciplinarian, authoritarian, and that type of person. And as my girl will nod very happily, telling that she will do precisely what I tell her to. And I do not have to dress for it. I don't have to do much except give her the tone of voice, which tells her that there is no nonsense accepted.
No, Adam.
On that note, I will let you, Amy Jade, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, madam. My name is Amy Jade. I have been in the lifestyle pretty much for about 11 years now. Off and on a little bit towards the end there, but pretty consistently. I identified as a sub really early on. That's not to be interpreted as I don't have dominant mode in my body, because I do, but not in the conventional sense. Essentially, I want to phrase things here. When it comes to sexuality and all that, I find that I do my best work in or outside of the lifestyle when I have a clear head and a solid purpose in my sexual lifestyle. And that kind of feeds into things. So with that being in mind, and my train of thought just blew out the window again.
All right, so why don't we reel that back in and we can come back to that afterwards.
Sure.
Okay, so a lot of the important stuff that we're going to be covering here will be expectations in terms of what people want out of the lifestyle. And that varies across the board. Everyone has different ideas, expectations, but we're hoping to give people a good solid guide of concepts, guides, maybe little different paths that you can follow, and wonderful new things you may have never considered either. And in the site that we're building, we will have fun little guides, some play scripts as well, if you haven't got the idea of how to initiate things, or if you just need a little variation to spice things up. And it just gives you a different concept of what kind of roles you can do and that you can take in this. I mean, it's a mass spectrum of a great community. And the really good thing about this community I have found over the years is with the good solid groups, there is a real sense of, and it's funny, the word, it is community. And people that will look after each other, that actually buoy each other. I'll talk to other dominants, and dominants that, you know, are really in the lifestyle will actually support each other and be very good towards each other. There is no cattiness, there's no nonsense. I mean, you'll get your random people, that's just the way it is, that's life. But for the most part, this community is very strong, very supportive, and very kind, as well as open-minded. And that is one thing we try to foster and guide in this community, that the open-mindedness and the acceptance of everybody, because it's the community that should be open, and if it's not, then we're doing something completely wrong. So in our guides, we have the idea of, you know, how to be a good submissive, how to be a good dominant, interaction. We'll have role play. We're going to actually have sessions that we're going to do live to have some fun, so people can actually see us do things. It's remote because, well, we're in the middle of COVID, sorry guys, and Amy Jade's in a different country as well. So at the moment, I do have somebody else that's hands-on that can assist to provide my instructions, and that will work very well. But of course, me.
Yeah, you know, she's in Tokyo, I'm in Belarus, so I mean, it's really like.
But the point is, if it was me hands-on, it would be a whole different show. But are you okay? No, you're not supposed to be able to choke. No, come on. I thought you had no gag reflex.
Depends on the dick.
I want a refund. I was told you had no gag reflex. And this, kids, is how the show is going to go. There is no dryness. There is no, boring script. Yes, we do have scripts and stuff, but since this is the pilot episode, we thought we'd have a little bit more fun with it, open up, let you know who we are and what we hope to achieve with all of this. I have already got lined up some experts in different fields who are willing to come on and talk to us as well in mental health and physical health and stuff like that, as well as some other people that are involved in the community that would really be happy to come on and talk and offer their advice in terms of relationships and mental health in the community, as well as physical health in the community and other things. So there's access to that kind of stuff. We're hoping once a month to do things where we have write-in questions where you can ask your questions, and if you think it's strange, it's probably not. We've probably heard it before, so don't worry about that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you, Pam. As they used to tell me, especially in grad school, there's no such thing as a stupid question. The only stupid question is one that isn't asked.
That's good. And the thing is that people are going to be new, and even people who've been in the community for a long time are still learning something new. And the thing is, you should never stop learning. As you and I as educated individuals know, the more you know, the less you feel you know, because you're just kind of going, oh, like, how much did I just learn? It's like mind blown. I know how much, and I know nothing. Oh, and it's funny because as much as you're confident and good in your field or good at what you do, you're just, once you learn more, you're kind of going, good gravy. There's just so much more involved.
Right,
and that's
exactly.
Okay. And that's fine. And you know what? Ask us questions. We're not going to laugh at you. We're not going to think you're strange. If we do the write-in show, please ask us a question that maybe, burning inside you and you're kind of going, well, I feel silly for asking. You can do it anonymously. We're not going to sit there and call you out. We're going to leave it anonymous. You can leave it, without saying who you are, but at least you'll know you have the answer if you're watching this. Exactly. And we hope to get the viewership because we want this out there. We want people to see this and be informed and get the information and have fun, but have it in a safe, sane, consensual way. And I was there in the 80s and 90s, and oh my God, I can't believe I just said that again. In Toronto, at the old
the dark times.
What's that?
Before the dark times, before the empire.
Before the dinosaurs roamed the earth. We were there, but the people that I was involved with were phenomenal. And this is what I'm coming from, the place of fostering that kind of relationship and that kind of community that I came from, that I love. And that is what I go forth with every submissive relationship that I come into. It's not just, I'm going to tell you what to do and you're going to listen to me and you're going to, now, you know what, that doesn't work. It is a relationship on many different levels, like you say.
I mean, honestly, if she had come to me and said, yeah, I'm a dom, I'm going to tell you what to do, I would have laughed in her face and it would have said, no.
And speaking on that, some good little points to bring up. How, if you want to approach a dom or a submissive, things not to do if you want to approach a dom. Drop a DM in their inbox without asking permission. That's a no. Do not send dick, twat, boob, or any other pictures. Ask permission first. First of all, you're not being polite, you're not respecting them. Number two, you don't know where they are at the time that they're reading these things, and it's called consent. Consent is important. Did they consent for you to approach them? No. Don't assume just because a person is a dom or a sub that they want you to approach them. Ask them politely. They're human beings.
Exactly. I mean, consent is the cornerstone of everything that we do. And you guys are going to hear the word consent a lot, so much to the point where you're going to become sick of it. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. And then, of course, for submissives, and I've come across so many submissives over the years where they get individuals who are saying, I'm dominant, I'm going to tell you what to do. So if I come into a club and I see you and you're a submissive, say I'm just a stranger coming up to Amy Jade in a club and she's a submissive and I'm a dom, and I might have subs, or I might not. I might just be somebody who's new who thinks that they're dominant. And I walk up to her and go, how? You're a submissive. Get on your knees and bow to me and call me mistress.
I mean, for one thing, if that had happened and she was like Dom Jane Doe, I didn't know her. I mean, if she came up to me and was like that, first of all, I wouldn't get on the floor because it's 34 anyway. It's a club. And Like, why should I? I mean, I don't know you. I mean, you're not my dom. I mean, what impetus do I have for a banger? I mean, what is my reasoning? What is my motivation? Do as I say or else. And for that matter, earlier, Madam Scarlett referred to this as a community. That is never been more true in situations like this. If she did that, I guarantee you, in any given club, there would at least be 4 people who came up and said, "The fuck are you doing?"
Exactly. And that's the thing. You have to respect the subs. You have to respect the doms. And people are going to be saying, well, why should I respect them? They're submissive because they're a human being first and foremost. What they are doing is giving you the gift of control of their autonomy. You are getting control over their health, their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And that is a cherished gift. If you gave up yours, do you not think that the person should be just as respectful of yours? So if you're going to be asking a submissive to submit to you, you need to be considerate of their care, their mental health, their physical health, and their emotional well-being at all times, because they are giving you control over them. And they, yeah, I may get lots of doms who are saying, well, that's not the way I do it. Well, you know what? You can do things your way. This is the way I do things in Madam Scarlett's universe. Okay, this is my universe. This is how we're doing things, and this is how I'm teaching you. I don't care if you want to go someplace else and believe that you're going to follow the things from that movie or that book or those other books, because that is not how it goes in the real community. I'm sorry, but those things are not real. They are fantasy. They are garbage. I shouldn't probably say that, but I don't care. This disclaimers, as I said. But in my opinion, they're not the way it's done. And in the real community that I'm a part of, and I have been for a very long time, we didn't do those things. Yes, we do role play. Absolutely. Do we do things where we do control? Absolutely. But the main cornerstone of all of that is consent and consideration and respect.
Me?
Yes.
Thank you, madam. So one of the things that I'm into that I'm sure we'll discuss later on is CNC, which is consensual non-consent. People, a lot of people, especially those outside the community, think this is akin to rape. It is not, because it is part of the foundation of consent. Without consent, yeah, that's rape. But you know what? Because it was agreed upon beforehand, because things were hammered out. There's even scripts written beforehand too, in many cases. Because of that, there's this whole play act, and that's what it is, essentially what it is. It's a theatrical act based on mutual trust, understanding, and consent. Because of that, it becomes a very, very entertaining and pleasing event. But when the sub says stop or no or whatever the agreed upon safe word is, it stops.
Exactly. So this is what we're going to cover. You actually brought up some very good points. The things I wanted to cover are the safe words. Brilliant. Good job, girl. Okay. Good girl. So safe words. Safe words are something that you will establish when you have a submissive, things that you communicate. So again, the same word that she had just said a few minutes ago, consensual non-consent. There's the first word, consensual. It is with consent. It is with explicit agreement that these things happen. So when people see these shows, movies, whatever, any kind of random event that they think things are just, they happen, it's not the way it is. It is always agreed upon. It is always discussed beforehand, because again, people, these are human beings. They are other people that have agreed to enter into this contract with you. So, and that's another thing as well, is the contracts. Discussing the vetting process is a big thing. I've seen a lot of people be concerned because they'll say, oh, I want to talk to this sub, I want to talk to this dom, and that's great. Talk to them with respect, dignity, everything else like that, but go through a vetting process to ensure that you're both on the same page, that you have the same path that you want to go down, that you have the same, you know, playing field that you want to be on, because you might get somebody who is up here and the other person is down here, and there's absolutely no connection whatsoever, and you're going to dislike each other, and there's going to be cruelty and just a bad feeling all around. And some people will run away from the community just because they feel that this is exactly how it's going to be. And it's not. It's just like meeting anybody else in life anywhere else, like a boss, a relationship, anything else like that. This is precisely what it is. It is a different type of relationship. It is one that allows a beautiful dynamic between two individuals or more, two or more individuals. It could be many individuals. It all depends. Everybody has their own kink, and there's nothing wrong with that. you know, and nobody should sit there and stick their nose up at other people's kink, as long as, again, consent and legal. Just those two important things too. And I'm going to cover that. That's important to do. So in a DNS relationship, because I'm the dominant, I'm the guardian, the overseer, like the disciplinarian, the person in charge, as it were. And Amy Jade is my submissive, who is
Sub, occasional slave, kitten, you know, that sort of thing.
Princess Brat.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Brat.
yeah, you
Yep.
know well how I respond to the Princess Brat thing.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So that being said, everybody has different roles. And then there's like daddy doms, mommies, other things like that. We will cover those in a future show because that is a whole other dissertation basically on its own. Exactly. So probably one of the next few shows, we will talk about the different dynamics and relationships that will be involved in a DNS relationship. We will talk about acronyms because you're going to get a lot of those thrown at you. Acronyms are those things that are different letters, the dot between them. So letter, dot, you know, if in case, I'm just saying because you never know. People might not know.
So I can pretty much guarantee they don't know. I mean,
and that's fine. So
BDSM,
acronyms.
Yeah, BDSM is more acronym happy than the U.S. military.
True. So the thing is that we will cover acronyms, and if you have different ones you don't know about, you can throw those at us as well during our question periods because we're happy to help you out. Let's see. Discretion and respect is another thing. When you're dealing with human beings, you don't know who the other person is before you talk to them. And then when you get into a relationship with them, they're a whole different person than what you're dealing with in a DNS relationship. What you might see here is not what we're going to be in the vanilla world. And the thing is that, yeah, you're submissive, maybe somebody else completely different that you would never consider, and it's none of your business what they do outside. If they agree to tell you, discretion. You are a vault. You do not discuss these things unless allowed because it is important that privacy, discretion, and respect are paid.
And madam, I'm so glad you brought that up because a lot of us, more than any one of you may think, have lives that are a lot darker than this. On like way below the surface. Someone, I don't know, maybe a bank teller, like Jane do, maybe work at, I don't know, Wells Fargo one day, and or by day, and by night she may be, I don't know, an escort. One of those things. And if that nightlife were to get discovered, she'd get fired because sex work is 99% of the time illegal. Like, yeah. I will freely admit on here in the community, yeah, I'm an escort, and I'm not right now due to the pandemic, but I do a lot of cam work and I do porn. So I mean, yeah, sex is not a big thing for me. I mean, it's one of those things where yeah, it's enjoyable, but it's one facet.
And that's another good point you brought up too. Excellent. So I can bring that back to everybody seems to, or not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a large portion of people, especially new to the community, think that it's purely about sex. Absolutely not. In some cases, there is no sex involved. Sometimes it's just about pain. Sometimes it's just about submitting, cuckolding. It is about sex. There is going to be some sensuality that goes back and forth because when you hit that beautiful sweet spot that is sub and dom space, oh my goodness, it is a beautiful spot completely.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you touched on that. Subspace, especially, I can't speak on dom space because for one thing, I have no right and I have not experienced it, but subspace, oh my God, it's euphoric as hell. Oh God. Some of you may have tried like crack or heroin, I don't know. No judgment, but as a comparison of highs, subspace is by far the best. Oh my God. It's the incredibly high euphoric feeling. There is no natural high like it. There's no artificial high like it. It is unlike anything in the world. And honestly, in a good DS relationship, at least that I found, and everyone is different, but that I found, sex isn't even required at all. Yeah, sexuality, obviously, sensuality, especially, but sex itself, not necessary.
And even then, sometimes one partner wants it, like if a male wants pegging or something like that, or people love oral pleasure. And these are other things. Actually, I'm really glad I brought that up myself. Hey, I'm telling myself wonderful things that are part of our, I'm reminding myself of the things that we want to talk about. So in some of our shows, we are actually talking about sexual health as well, and normalizing sexual health in terms of sexual activity. So there may be episodes where we discuss things like how to give oral pleasure, how to properly encourage better orgasms and things like that. So we may talk about toys, we may talk about a variety of different things. We have so many shows planned and so many ideas that we can flesh out, but we're trying to give it to you in an easy to access and fun way, because as I've heard from a number of people, there are wonderful informational articles out there, but they may be a little turgid to read, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're scientifically written, and I know a lot of people who have written sexuality articles about this that are, psychologists and such, and that's fantastic. This is what they wanted to focus on. For us, it's a matter of, we saw some serious gaps, and I talked to a bunch of other people, and they have seen gaps, and I've seen gaps all throughout the years, where education needs to be more, informative, fun, interactive, and we can have just audio only or written as well about these shows. But I think in this sense, at least, you're getting more fun seeing who we are as people and actually getting to hear us say it. And then you get the eye candy of Amy Jade over there who can't sit still because she's a 3-year-old child, apparently, in a cute little outfit. So apparently Amy Jade is the eye candy, as you can obviously see, and I have no problem with that. I am the dominant. I could be nothing. I could be a black screen here and just my voice, and she would still do as I say. And that is my ability in this relationship, and any relationship I've encountered in this community. I am very, very good at controlling people, and I'm also very good at getting people to trust me, because I do not talk about personal interactions and the people that would ever destroy their relationships and their trust. And that is something I've learned over my 30 years. This is why I'm still around. And this is why people have asked me, please, can you teach us? And I am happy to do so. So this is just the beginning of everything that we want to cover. I think that we've covered an awful lot today already. I think in future we'll do things with toys, books, games, lifestyle. I've got ideas for lots of fun things you can build for your in-home type stuff. There are people that I've talked to that build their own toys that they can hide away so that nobody sees what they're doing, and they get the privacy, and nobody has to see in their home that they're doing things that might be kinky. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they don't need to expose that to anybody, especially if they're, if they're at home and stuff like that, especially with kids. Kids don't need to know. They need to have their, be a kid. But mom and dad need to have a little fun, or play toys need to have fun, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, or whatever, the whole family that is involved in that dynamic.
Listen, people.
Fun. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I do not have any concepts of what is inappropriate in this poly stuff like that. Everything goes, and I love it, because people, if they're happy, and again, doing it with consent and legal, I am really happy for you if you're happy. And that's the important thing in this. And this is the whole thing about this community. People aren't going to sit there going, oh my God, you did what with how many people? Who cares? Not my thing. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
See, that's a very good point. I mean, when it comes down to it, none of us are getting out of this life alive. So, I mean, as long as it's like, again, consensual and legal, I mean, legal, then enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for, is to help you guys find a method that's most enjoyable for you. And so you go into anything with your eyes open and with knowledge in here, and any questions you may have, spit them out, type them out, send them, whatever, and we'll put them on the show, answer them, and you can go off and enjoy your life.
And letting you know that this is the teaser, so we're giving you this one. In the future, we will probably be charging like a very small fee for the videos, because we hope to be, being able to keep going, because it does cost us, and it's not going to be much, but they'll be worth it. They'll be absolutely worth it. Yep, $5. Yep, $5 per video. And dirty little girl.
Sorry, madam.
Right. And I can't stay still, like, say straight face too long with her on camera because it's too damn funny. And I know you're all laughing your asses off over there. So you're not helping her, you're encouraging. Anyway, the point is that we really wanted to provide a service, and we'll have other people on here as well. We hope to encourage and foster more. On the website, we'll be offering scripts, as I said, some writing, some fun erotica writing. I will be bringing on other people with their artwork and ASMR and stuff like that as well, those clips and stuff. So we hope to give a whole bunch of really fun and inspirational bits on that site and different sites, just so that people can kind of go, well, you know what, this is a great place. I feel comfortable, and that they can get a resource. And we will have an email that lets you write in and say, hey, I have this question, or we can do special requests. I'm happy to do special requests as long as they are with our guidelines and as long as we agree upon them. But if you have questions or topics you want covered, we will absolutely agree upon the idea of opening up to that and discussing those things, because people will have lots of questions, and we're not going to be able to remember absolutely everything because, you know, there's just so much. So we rely on you guys to give us a little bit, you know, food for thought there, and maybe a little fodder, and we will absolutely have fun with it. So I think so far we've covered everything we wanted to today. Amy, Jade, do you have anything else you want to say in parting, young girl?
No, madam, I think we've covered everything.
Excellent. Did you have anything else you want to say to the nice people before we leave?
How
about thank you?
Yes, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. Love you all.
Thank you so much for showing up, and I hope that you enjoyed our show and that you come back for more. Thanks. Goodbye.